The midnight shift was quiet, the corporate tower almost asleep. Hidden beneath a plain security uniform, Daniel, the CEO of the billion-dollar firm, walked the halls unnoticed. He had decided to go undercover to learn what life was like for the men and women who kept his empire safe. That's when he noticed a faint glow near the lobby desk. A young security guard, head bent over a stack of books, was scribbling notes by the dim light of a small flashlight. His name tag read, Michael. Daniel paused, curiosity pulling him closer. Studying this late? He asked casually. Michael looked up, startled. Oh, sorry, sir. I didn't mean to slack off. It's just, I'm preparing for my engineering exams. Couldn't afford the tuition this semester, so I'm teaching myself from library books. His voice carried no self-pity, only determination. Daniel felt a pang in his chest. Here was a man earning barely enough to survive, yet chasing a dream with relentless grit. As Daniel walked away that night, the image of Michael bent over those books refused to leave his mind. For the first time in years, the CEO realized the power of unseen struggles, the kind his employees endured daily. What Michael didn't know was that this small act of perseverance was about to change his entire life. Daniel couldn't shake off Michael's image from his mind. The next evening, still undercover, he struck up a longer conversation. So, why engineering? He asked. Michael smiled faintly, rubbing his tired eyes. Because I want to build things that last. My mom used to say, leave the world better than you found it. She worked 3 jobs until she got sick. Now I'm the one paying the bills. Security pays enough to keep food on the table, but school, that's out of reach. Daniel studied him carefully. Michael wasn't complaining. He wasn't bitter. He was simply stating facts, honest, raw, and real. That quiet resilience impressed Daniel more than any polished boardroom speech he had ever heard. Later that night, Daniel wandered the halls, reflecting on his own life. He had been born into privilege, inheriting opportunities others only dreamed of. Yet here was a young man working graveyard shifts and studying under a flashlight, refusing to surrender his dream. The undercover CEO made a silent vow. I need to know this young man better. The next week, Daniel arranged surprise inspections, purposely timing them when Michael was on duty. Each time, he learned a little more. How Michael tutored neighborhood kids for free, how he skipped meals to save money for exam fees, how he carried hope as if it were a shield against despair. Daniel realized something. Leadership wasn't about profit margins or expansion plans. It was about people. And Michael, though just a security guard on paper, had the spirit of a leader waiting to be discovered. One rainy night, Daniel arrived to find Michael shivering under his thin jacket by the entrance. Still, he was hunched over his books, lips moving silently as he memorized formulas. Why not study at home where it's warm? Daniel asked gently. Michael chuckled. Home's just a small basement apartment. My brother's kids are there, and the noise makes it hard. Here, after rounds, it's quiet. Peaceful. Daniel felt his throat tighten. You take care of your brother's kids too? Michael nodded. Yeah, he passed away last year. I promised him I'd look after them. Their mom works late shifts, so I try to be there when I can. They deserve stability. Daniel turned away, blinking back emotions he hadn't expected. He had employees making 6 figures who never showed this kind of selflessness. The following morning, Daniel sat in his corner office, unable to focus. For the first time, quarterly reports and stock values seemed meaningless. He thought about Michael, his persistence, his quiet sacrifices, his refusal to let hardship define him. That day, Daniel called his HR director. Find me everything you can about the night security guard named Michael. Background, education, references, everything. The HR director hesitated. Sir, why the sudden interest in him? Daniel only replied, because sometimes greatness hides in plain sight. As he hung up, Daniel realized he wasn't just curious anymore. He was invested. Michael's life had ignited something inside him, a reminder of what true ambition, integrity, and humanity looked like. And Daniel wasn't about to let that light fade. Weeks later, Daniel finally revealed himself. One evening, after Michael's rounds, Daniel approached him, this time in his tailored suit. "Michael," he said firmly, "there's something you should know. I'm not just a fellow employee. I'm Daniel Harrison, the CEO of this company." Michael froze. His face went pale. "Sir? I'm sorry if I broke any rules. The flashlight, the books." Daniel raised a hand. "No apologies. In fact, you've inspired me. I've watched you work tirelessly, study in silence, and still carry burdens most people would crumble under. You remind me of what real determination looks like." Michael's hands trembled. I don't understand." Daniel smiled. "You will. Starting tomorrow, you won't be a security guard anymore. I'm sponsoring your full education, all tuition, books, living expenses covered. You'll intern here with our engineering team. The world needs men like you to build it." Michael's mouth fell open. For a moment, he couldn't speak. His eyes filled with tears he tried to hide. "Sir, why me?" Daniel's voice softened. "Because when I see you, I see the man I wish I had been when I was younger, hungry, humble, determined. You taught me more in these halls than my board ever has." Michael finally whispered, "Thank you? I swear I won't let you down." Daniel replied warmly, "You already haven't." For the first time, both men realized this wasn't just charity. It was destiny crossing their paths at the right moment. The news spread through the company like wildfire. The CEO had pulled a night guard out of obscurity and placed him into a prestigious program. Some employees scoffed, others admired, but Michael kept his head down, proving every day that he belonged. He worked alongside engineers, arriving early, staying late, asking questions with a hunger no classroom could teach. His designs were fresh, creative, often solving problems senior staff overlooked. One day, during a critical project, a system failure threatened to delay production. While the team scrambled, Michael quietly proposed a fix, something he had studied in his flashlight-lit nights. The engineers tried it, and to their shock, it worked perfectly. Daniel, watching from the corner, felt a swell of pride. He had taken a chance, but Michael was exceeding every expectation. Months later, Michael was invited to present his first official design. Nervous but steady, he stood before executives, speaking not like a former guard but like a visionary. His closing words silenced the room. "Every brick I lay in life is for those who never got the chance to build their dreams." The executives erupted in applause. Daniel knew then that Michael wasn't just succeeding, he was becoming a leader. That night, Daniel called Michael into his office. "Do you realize what you've done today?" Michael shook his head. "You've not just earned respect," Daniel said. "You've inspired it. And that's something no degree can teach." Years passed. Michael graduated with honors, rose quickly through the ranks, and became one of the youngest project directors in the company's history. But despite his new title, he never forgot the flashlight, the long nights, or the children waiting at home. On his first day as director, Michael made a quiet stop at the lobby desk, the same spot where his journey began. He placed a brand new laptop and a stack of books there with a note. "For any dreamer working the night shift, your light matters." The guard on duty looked at him in awe. Michael simply smiled, knowing the cycle of hope had to continue. Daniel, now older, watched proudly as Michael led teams with compassion and vision. "You proved me right," he said one evening. "But more importantly, you proved yourself right." Michael shook his head. "No, sir. You gave me the chance. Without you, I'd still be studying by flashlight." Daniel's eyes softened. "And without you, I'd still be chasing numbers, forgetting what truly matters. You reminded me that success isn't measured in profits, but in people." Together, they had changed not just each other's lives, but the culture of an entire company. Stories of the security guard turned engineer became legendary, proof that sometimes greatness is found in the most unexpected places. And so, the lesson endured, one act of kindness, one spark of belief, could illuminate a path so bright it transformed lives forever.